Hello there everyone and welcome back. My first day back with the Imperial Navy has gone relatively well. A little bit awkward, just a tiny bit with the Tau because he decided to run away from me and he conveniently had a micro warp jump to complicate that more, but at the end of the day I got the levels I needed and now everything, at least currently, is equipped with the short burn torpedoes. So if I want to play a passive slow game, I have that option, and potentially to overwhelm him with torpedoes once I start getting more than 2 cruisers in these actual matches. Although, we still have to get to like Admiral level 3 or 4 first before that actually happens, at least on equal terms. If I'm fighting up against a high Admiral level fleet though, then I can very easily start squeezing all 3 of them, I think. And my 3 Dauntlesses even, once this thing actually gets its repairs underway, which I might be tempted to do after my next match. We shall see. But otherwise, let's continue on with the experience, shall we? Because I want to try and get these things to level 3 and hopefully level 4 as quickly as possible. And if they can survive, that's a very sure way to get that in a hurry. Alright, we're going to have ourselves a really fun match, I think, with Orcs, because out of all the matches I kind of had with my championship series, I think Orcs is kind of my favorite, or at least one of the most tense there. Mind you, I have not fought very much of Solare's kind of like Lance build. They were mostly torpedoes and lots of heavy fighters, mind you, so I don't get the full rounded experience of what to expect with Orcs just yet, but I feel like it was one of my favorite matches, at least of the championship, so let's continue on this, shall we? I do like the idea of a Widowmaker to spot him early, especially if he doesn't have any gas clouds to hide in, because then I could kind of keep a good tab on what his status is. It's not going to do me a whole lot of good until I get more long-range macro cans, but it will help for the lack of the silent running the Orcs have. And he is like 1 Admiral level higher than me is what I want to say, so the 15 points doesn't really do me much aside for bonus renown. And we got ourselves some weird engine visual effects there. Another glitch of the many things that Battlefleet Gothic has been having for whatever reason, because now the minimap and overlay on the left seems to be happening every single mission at this point. I even noted it the first time I've really been using it when I first played up against the Orcs, or as the Orcs rather, in my video series, so it's been getting more consistent. I don't really like it so much because it does kind of ruin the introduction, even if my graphic card is due for an update with the low frame rate of that introduction, but let's not get carried away, this is still a convoy. I do want to spot them. I have a very relatively easy way to spot them. It's just a matter of how I can probably actually destroy them without harming his fleet too much. I wouldn't want to ruin your fun in watching this and avoid an Orc confrontation, mind you, but we still gotta try and win this battle. So let's see about it, shall we? I am in the middle there. He could deploy on the right. And he looks like he might actually do that. So, I am going to be spread out a little bit here, but I don't have to do that much. I could just play slow. I wish the Widowmaker went over on the right. Actually, I could kind of do that, but it's just not going to have the firepower to actually do it, and I accidentally fired my torpedoes on the Dauntless. That was a mistake. So, we don't have to deal with that one there. We could just deal with the 2 that are behind the convoy, actually. So I'm not too bad about. I don't feel too bad about this thing turning around. I just gotta take my time with this because this reload could be a mistake, considering I left myself 2 minutes to kind of wait for it to recharge if I'm gonna commit fully. But we'll deal with this convoy first. I got a stasis bomb also to help with this, and I'm not seeing any fighters, so I could still do damage, and if I can hit with melted torpedoes, I don't need to tell you how useful that fire result's going to be. It is going to be pretty nice, and maybe the Widowmaker can get some nice damage in on the right there. So, torpedoes, do your thing. We'll worry about the convoy on the right later, so a couple torpedo hits. I like the looks of it. Soften him up, keep an eye on his weaponry too. Mega can. Okay, he's all mega cans, so I don't think I need to tell you what the plan is here then. Especially now he's turned his rear to me, although he has not burned his repairs. Let's keep that in mind. If he's going to negate all my melted torpedoes instantly if he repairs, and I don't want to burn melt us for that easy convenience for him. But I do have him dancing. I like the idea of him dancing. And he got a hull breach, so that's amazing value there too. So I can evade him, I just gotta remember to have my prow ready to get the hell moving. Now let's scare him, let's scare him. As I just... Did I actually hit myself with torpedoes? That's embarrassing. That is quite embarrassing, but... I will have my brace for impact up in 20 seconds, so hold my ground. Hope the brace for impact is ready. Because I'm just going to kill this thing right now, I think, with a good torpedo salvo. If I'm so lucky. Alright, I think we're good. We got him scared. We just got to disengage now. As we try and focus these things down. I really need to hold on to that brace for impact, though. Because these mega cannons are no joke. They can kill me in an instant if he gets, like, a good number of side shots, so... Evading him, making him dance is probably the best thing I can do. Although, let's change our focus to try and hit these things on the side. Just a little bit. And I am getting my Widowmaker killed. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, to draw that fire like I'm doing. But, we got a conveyor. We do got one conveyor. Nope. Oh, that was a big hit. That was a big hit. I do have repairs. Now, I might have to turn this thing around quickly. Because the prow is what's going to keep it alive right now, and I want to keep this thing alive. Oh, weapon got destroyed. It's a macro battery. It's not a big deal just yet. So, let's take advantage of this. Because my shields are still up. Ooh, I just took 2 heavy side shots. And I want to kill this thing quickly. And I got short burn torpedoes. I kind of did not account for that very well, and you lucky bastard. Okay. I can still do damage to this thing. It's just not going to die relatively quickly, but he is micro warp jumping. That is a good plus for me. That is a good plus for me because I can evade. I don't care about the plasma bomb. I just need to shoot down this dang thing. And is it repairing? I don't see repairs. Brace for impact is my grace weapon right here. It's about to expire momentarily though. But once I get past the ship, I'm okay. It is on fire. This could still be a win, folks. I probably made sloppier than I need to be. But I think we're through it. Oh boy. That was probably a little more tense than I probably should have let it. A little bit of squandering, letting those mega cannons hit my sides as much as it does, because remember, the brace for impact on my prow basically means I have a 95% chance of not taking any damage at all from the mega cannons, and that is kind of the most important rule. At least fighting against mega cannon orcs. But yeah, that was a lot more tense than I probably expected. They are orcs, mind you. In all seriousness though, would I have been more worried about all those cruisers having torpedoes? I could have boosted, and if you had sap cannons, they would have started whittling me down. They just wouldn't have the ridiculous burst damage. And I did have 2 shield transfers, which, since I was kind of spread out, didn't really work very well. But it was still a fun match, needless to say. It's like I said, it was probably more tense than it meant to be, or at least I want it. Alright, this time around, we got ourselves a mirror match, so this could be a lot of fun. It's going to be brutal once we start getting close, especially with the torpedoes are concerned. And if by chance he has a Dominator as his cruiser, assuming he's using it, then I could kind of play the long game and just whittle him down with torpedoes relatively safely, so it just ultimately comes down... Oh, it's also breakthrough. I need to be mindful of that, and I don't think the Widowmaker is going to be useful, because in all honesty, if I took a sword instead and sent it over to the right to deal with that frigate, that conveyor, that probably would have made my life so much more easier. So the Widowmaker kind of was a liability, despite what I said about its extended sensors helping me to just have vision of the ship, which wasn't bad for a Tyrant, mind you, getting a couple of shots off, but this probably would work a little bit better. Maybe the Firestorm, maybe. But I'll go with the sword, a little bit of harass damage from the rear and flank. Never mind the spotting potential it could do. It's just a Nova Cannon that could ruin its day really quickly. But it is breakthrough, I am forgetting that again, but I should be okay. I should be just fine. I could have gone with 2 Dauntlesses even and get a nice mobile, at least slightly more mobile force there, trying to harass at range and force him to come to me, away from his turrets where he has those big macro cannons, which I think are the same kind of cannons that the Emperor uses for its turrets. I could be wrong though, and if so, they can pack a notable amount of damage. Yeah, they're basically as potent as like a Dauntless Lance, Prow Lance, just without the armor piercing potential, so it is still pretty fearsome having that to be included in the salvo. So I need to try and whittle them down and try and play safe then. So let's try and maximize my damage. My sword's gonna spot for me, I already mentioned that, but if it can get some flank shots, maybe whittle down the shields relatively well for some good macro cannon shots, then that works in my benefit. And also I did a bad job rotating these ships, didn't I? Although, this will help some, now to have their pathway set. This will help a little bit. Maybe I should have done that beforehand, although to be fair, I kind of have to rotate the ships anyway. Or deploy them if I'm going to actually know they're heading. Because I can't zoom out that much more, and I'm loath to actually rotate the camera, because that's going to be really jarring for some people, I imagine. Because I could easily rotate the camera to get a better angle, but I think for YouTube experience, probably keeping a nice consistent angle at all times is probably better for the experience. Otherwise, I would try my best to rotate where it's flat and can see as much of the map as possible, especially the middle point where the beacons are at. Might be a bit awkward to micromanage, I'm not gonna lie, but it would be beneficial that way. I think for me anyway. So, the Dauntless can't just shoot torpedoes straight at it, it has to kind of go from the side.
Ship ready.
Although I'm messing up my controls some, aren't I? Why aren't you? Okay, I was wondering why the torpedoes weren't moving. I was miscontrolling it quite a bit. But I don't need to rush this. I don't need to rush this at all. I could just boost out. Because it doesn't really do much for him. It's not like he can do anything about it just yet. I just gotta be mindful not to burn my orders, because he can see that now. And with how close I am, he could do damage. Although I wasn't paying attention to the number of ships he has. He has 5 ships, so he actually is pretty limited in his firepower potential, so I should try and divide and conquer, as it were. Try and hit his ships while they're separated. Especially now that I have torpedoes about to come back up. And this one is a Firestorm. That is fine. Just fire, hit it with a couple of torpedoes, and maybe just board it and kill it that way. That was a damn good hit. So, free frigate kills fine by me, because we still got 20 minutes of this to go. It's going to be tricky to hit, though. A little bit. My Dauntless is going to clear away. Now you have to either hold your position, or you might get hit by a torpedo, especially if you're on fire. Ooh, I got it. So there goes one of his swords, or Firestorms. Ooh, he has 4 of them, so this bodes well for me. I'm going to get a lot of bonus renown out of this, if I can manage this well. Because now he's coming there. I do want to destroy that beacon, because of course it is going to contribute fire when I start getting close. But I have shield transfers to help deal with these lances, because they're not exactly... Lances are not exactly very good against shields, because their main quirk is their armor piercing value, but shields don't have any resistance to begin with. Especially when I have shield transfers, and he got a lucky there denying that. Oh well, this is pretty simple. This is pretty straightforward. I want to just lock on now. Now, where's the torpedoes? Okay. Let's turn this around. Also, let's ram them. Come on, help me out then, buddy. Help me out. I just kind of wish the torpedoes would hit yourself. I kind of wish that a little. So, here comes the torpedo wars. 2 solid hits there, board. What did we destroy? Okay, we destroyed the opposite broadside weaponry, unfortunately. So, not very helpful just yet, but damn good start regardless. So, let's just make our way through. I'll try and preserve his dang, I'll try and preserve his ship. Because now I have a very nice window to just break on through with his heavily limited firepower. And with him turning his macro battery, that's not very useful. So I have the health to take all his hits and kind of ignore him some. I still gotta destroy these beacons, which is gonna be a bit problematic. Oh, sadly that torpedo shot was not very good, I'm sorry fella. But let's finish this off. He's turned his bad side to me again, so I can live with this. I'll just try and keep on fighting, but I'm making my focus perfectly clear. I'm just gonna let his ship live, or at least try to. Although if he's gonna chase after me, he's not gonna have much of a choice. I may kill it just through trying to go to the other side of the map. We'll see. It's taken a bit of a beating. Now his other weapon's gone. Ram this. That's... So, get the Dauntless going. I think that's the Dauntless's main job while this tyrant destroys the beacon. And sadly, no torpedo hits. Okay, generators are gone. Firestorm or Sword managed to successfully evade. We are looking golden. Now, this thing is limping. This thing is really limping. I hate to feel like I'm being a bad person trying to let this thing live. It feels like it's almost insult to injury, depending on the opponent. Depending on your mindset, this almost seems cruel, trying to let him live. Because I don't think there's anything you can do about this tyrant right now. I just gotta make sure I kill this thing. He's trying to ram it. I applaud him for his efforts, and he's actually gonna do a substantial amount of damage. Oh, keep moving. Oh, he's warping out. He is warping out. I just didn't want to kill your poor ship. Although, if I don't complete... If he just warps out, he could still suffer a lost in warp effect. So, let's... Oh, if only I had my boosters back up. Oh, well. It was a fun little slugfest. Oh god, I may accidentally kill it. If somehow I were to get, like, 8... rolls of 1 or lower, because it is 1 in 4 chance to get through that prow armor. Oh well. It was still a fun match. It's just him allowing me to deal with his frigates one by one, and of course, getting all those rams with my tyrant was kind of nice of him. If he had a brace for impact then, it probably would have hurt a little bit more on my end, considering he rammed my side. And my armor is technically the same thing as his swords there, Firestorms, minus the brace for impact. So he could have easily done more ramming damage to me than I did with him. With the 50 armor on the side, so there were a few mistakes there if you want to really commit to that kamikaze. I don't know how much more weaker my tyrant would have been, mind you. I just know that 3 Firestorms is 600 health or hull versus my 800 there, with his brace for impact. That easily negates the difference there. That's all I truly know. But it's nice to see the Tyrant getting his value in. It's already level 3. We got our Admiral level 3, so that means another Dauntless. I'm half tempted to go with the Lance variant for more specialized roles, but of course, if it's going to be specialized, it means it's not going to get much it's not going to get deployed very often. Because I'm thinking like Tau or anything that relies heavily on his prow or armor, quite frankly. Especially if they have fighters and all that, but I think just to help keep its leveling progress going, I should just go with the Mark II. Keep it nice and simple, but I was seriously considering getting the Mark I. Like I said before, following true to my championship fleet composition. But I don't have a lot of the key elements I need, which is basically my Overlords and Retribution. Not to mention some good armor-piercing rams that are really potent as well for those close-range engagements. But very nice progress nonetheless. Well, it looks like we got ourselves another rematch here. Or at least a rematch with the Imperial Navy fleet. This time, I guess... Well, I could destroy the convoy if I want to preserve his fleet some more, but... My main concern is getting this Dauntless's essential short-burn torpedo upgrade in, so... I'm probably asking to handicap myself a little bit as a result, but... I'm going to try differently. Instead of the Widowmaker, we're going to have the sword try and serve as my... basically my conveyor buster. It's going to hunt down any isolated conveyors that might be in my way, and hell, I could get a second one. If only the points lined up differently, oh, it does. Sadly, the Firestorm's probably not as impactful because it doesn't have... It's stuck with a prow lance, so it has to be constantly facing it. But it still works. It still damn works. It just begs the question, do I use both the Firestorms to hunt down the conveyors? Well, it really comes down to how he deploys his ships, because there's only one hiding spot for him, and that's the asteroid belt. And if he starts moving the conveyor in there, they're going to start taking damage, so... We'll see what happens. I only have to destroy 2 of them, and... His Dauntless did survive, but of course his other ships may have got them repaired or whatever happened to him, so... He could bring in some bigger guns, and I, again, am a little bit handicapped because I don't have my own time for this battle. I also only have one series of short-burn torpedoes, which is going to make it harder to kind of like overwhelm him. Unless I want to try and deter him coming straight at me. That might be the only thing that I can benefit from, because I am firing like 2 separate ways with this lack of speed boost. Also, let me group these Firestorms differently there, just in case. This should still be fun. I just gotta be very mindful as I'm probably gonna lose a straight up engagement if I don't get really good torpedo hits. If anything, I kind of want to have myself rotating right off the beginning in case of said torpedoes, because I'm not afraid to boost and just let him see me. There's not really a lot of value he can gain from that. Because really, it's only the boarding torpedoes of the Space Marines and Tau that can truly abuse that. Maybe some other weapons like the, what is it, the Orc's teleporter pad? What the hell is that shock attack weapon? Which basically has 20,000 unit range, so that's like the only other thing. But otherwise, it's boarding and guided torpedoes pretty much that are the real threat as far as being revealed. So I can abuse that brazenly. He's taking his time there, is he? Oh well, I'm watching the main map anyway. Or he's trying to figure out how to deploy his conveyors, I'm not sure. Because it is a lot more complicated when you literally, almost quite literally, double the number of ships you have there. Because for most of these 300-point matches, you have what? The 2 cruisers, a frigate, and then just double that with the 3 conveyors. So it could be more complicated for him. We will see. I'm just watching the main map intently right now, just to make sure he doesn't pull anything sneaky on me. Let's see, 5 seconds, we will know. This is part of emphasizing my point a little bit, why I try and deliberately wait until the last second, but let's see, can the Firestorms do what's needed? Because I need to pay attention. I would like to go after that. It is, with only 1 conveyor, it's probably not worth it. But I can focus it down really well. Oh, I fired my torpedoes badly, didn't I? Oh well. It's not too bad, we know what his focus is. Hell. Let's do the same, shall we? Because that conveyor is going to get isolated really quick. And then we have, basically, what it looks like the 2 Dauntlesses on the right. So I'm okay with this exchange. I just got to be efficient about this. Because I'm going to have torpedoes to whittle him down. I'm just not going to see him. And he very much could have silent run. He could be trying something sneaky here. So, we're going to wait. We're going to wait for him. I'm going to have my Firestorms kind of grouped up. I'm not oblivious to the micromanagement that might happen here. I just got to be mindful of any, like, silent running shenanigans. If he goes left, then I have to intercept. If he goes into the middle again, then that's not actually a problem. Let's see. Okay, he's hanging in the back there. He is hanging in the back. I'm kind of okay with that. Okay, let's keep an eye on the conveyor, and let's focus our damage here some. Try to, anyway. Because I got a brace for impact available, and I want him to burn his. Let's show him how to control a frigate, shall we? He does have the conveyors still to give him the extra firepower. Nope, I wasn't paying attention there all that much because micromanaging a little bit. Okay. Let's force his hand some, shall we? And honestly, I want to go after his conveyor, but it's going to be tricky to do. And these conveyors are on the right. This one has the short burn torpedoes, so let's keep this micromanagement going, shall we? And I do have the brace for impact still up. Now, can I ram this thing to full effect? That's all I really want now. As I try and prepare for engagement, one torpedo hit, not much there. And shields are going to be up for a while, but he is trying to disengage, and I got a ship on his rear, but the rear doesn't help so much when he's focusing his damage. Ooh, that mine's going to be really tempting to hit, too. I'm kind of half tempted to ignore these frigates and just go for this ram. He did burn his repairs, though. So let's get these going. And try and ram its juicy 25 armor. I would have liked, again, to ram it into the mine, but don't think it's possible right now. So, we are engaging them. He is micromanaging these ships heavily. I think he lost control of his Dauntless because they're still standing there. Which works for me. It works for me. Now let's just keep ramming this thing. Because this conveyor's about to die. I have another repair underway. And it is heavily damaged. It is worth kamikazing and sacrificing these 2 firestorms. A losing battle, I will admit, but hell, those conveyors do take a lot of damage, so... Well, how amusing was that? Let's see, that one's a lance, so let's go all or nothing then. Let's see, brace for impact. Hold ground, because I could kill these things really quickly and have torpedoes to justify it. And the repairs are up, so fire is the way to go. Eat these melted torpedoes and suck on it. Well, I don't think that's true considering I was shooting the rear, but I'm not saying anything more. So this should be over just from the fire damage alone. Because, again, he burnt his repairs, so he cannot negate that. So let's get this brace for impact going, shall we? Minimize this damage, because this Dauntless is going to be hurting quite a bit. Ooh, and somehow my Dauntless, the Great Defiance, just defied being double rammed by 2 of his Dauntlesses. So that was nice and convenient for me. I don't have much else I could do until I get closer for a shield transfer, though. So this is over. This is over. I see the green hue of his repairs. I know it's dead. Again, I'm trying to preserve his ships a little bit, and apparently I did overwhelm him a little bit with the micromanagement some, because his Dauntlesses seemed like they weren't doing anything. Or at least they weren't firing more torpedoes at me. Oh well. More of a tactical play rather than an entertaining show, maybe. The one thing he had going for him was that I did lose the Firestorm battle, so he can rub that in my face all he wants, if he so wishes. But I got my level in. I'm halfway to level 3. I probably could have took the other Dauntless that was about to get level 3 now that I think of it. I think I chose the wrong Dauntless, I think. Or did I already have 2 level 3? Yeah. I could have took the Guardian of Light. That would have got us level 3. And so that was the only mistake, really, as far as my strategy. Maybe execution could have been better, but it seemed pretty damn effective regardless. So I'm still happy with it. And I even have the renown to put an upgrade on a frigate. Or do I really want to put a favor on a Dauntless? I really would like to put a favor on one of these Dauntlesses here. And I am really biased towards Imperial Navy. I like the extra support. I like using them for detection. I like using them for more torpedoes. And hell, in the championship series against Solare, I also use these things to shoot down his fighters. just conveniently plopped them right behind his custodian and watched them shoot down his fighters slowly but surely. Especially in the space station assault, they were really damn handy there. So there's still a lot of versatility this thing can do even with the Imperial Navy, and we don't suffer from the damn insubordination that I just encountered. Oh well, I'll think more on it. I probably should save it up because I am going to get my second cruiser at level 4. So I may want to hang on to that.